Welcome to my channel. Imagine I'm standing in my garden. Here's an apple tree. Behind it is a pear tree. Next to it are currants, raspberries, and strawberry beds. I often catch myself thinking, plants are like people. If something is missing in their nutrition, it is immediately visible in their appearance. The leaves turn pale, dry out, turn red, and curl up. It is important to understand in time what exactly they are lacking. Otherwise, you may not get a harvest. Over the years, I have learned to read these clues. Today, I want to share my most important observations with you. Let's start with nitrogen. Its deficiency is easiest to spot on apple trees. If the leaves suddenly start to turn yellow from the bottom up, the old ones dry out first, and the fruits become small and fall off prematurely. This is a sure sign. The shoots turn red, the leaves become smaller, and the tree seems to age prematurely. Stone fruits, such as cherries or plums, develop red spots on their leaves, and the shoots become stiff and short. Strawberries produce few runners and small berries. Conversely, if there is too much nitrogen, the leaves will be huge and dark green, but the fruits will be pale and watery and will not store well. Therefore, it is important to maintain a balance with nitrogen. Now let's talk about phosphorus. Its deficiency is clearly visible on peach trees. Their leaves turn purple, the veins turn red, and the edges curl downward. In young trees, this can lead to death in the first year. In apple and pear trees, shoot growth slows down, the leaves become narrow, and the old ones take on a dull bluish-green tint. Phosphorus is responsible for flowering and fruiting, and if there is not enough of it, there will be few flowers, and the fruits will fall off before ripening. The next element is potassium. Here's my story. Once, the edges of my plum tree's leaves started to dry out as if they had been burned. I thought it was the heat or drought. I watered more, but it turned out that there was not enough potassium. It is potassium that regulates water balance. In apple trees, the edges of the leaves become covered with a brown or gray rim, and if there is a severe deficiency, the entire leaf dries out. In raspberries, the leaves turn gray and become wrinkled, and in strawberries, a red rim appears, which later turns brown. Without potassium, the harvest is pale and tasteless. Magnesium deficiency most often manifests itself in black currants and apple trees. First, the old leaves turn yellow between the veins, and then brown spots appear. The leaf looks like marble and then falls off. In cherry trees, yellowing begins along the central vein. This is a common problem on light sandy soils, especially in hot summers. If the leaves turn yellow but the veins remain green and the problem starts with the young upper leaves, then there is a lack of iron. This is chlorosis. It is particularly noticeable on pear and cherry trees. Foliar iron fertilizers help to remedy this situation, especially on alkaline soils. Manganese deficiency looks very similar, except that it starts with the older leaves. The leaf turns yellow from the edges, while the veins remain green. The plant as a whole is depressed. Another problem is boron deficiency. On apple and cherry trees, the upper leaves become small, curl up, and fall off. The shoots form witches' brooms, the flowers are sterile, and there is little fruit. And if there is fruit, it often has cracks, spots, and bitter pulp. In strawberries, boron deficiency causes the berries to become smaller and lose their taste. Copper deficiency is most common in peat soils. Apple trees show signs of this immediately. The leaves turn brown, the shoots crack, and growth slows down. Sometimes the tree even becomes bush-like as the tops dry out and the side shoots begin to grow. When there is a zinc deficiency, the leaves on the apple tree gather in small rosettes. The shoots are short and the fruits are ugly. In stone fruits, yellowing appears between the veins. Calcium is necessary for the growth of shoots and roots. If there is not enough of it, the upper leaves of the apple tree dry out and the tips of the roots die off. The shoots stop growing. However, an excess of calcium, especially after liming, leads to a deficiency of potassium, magnesium, and boron. And finally, sulfur. Its deficiency also manifests itself on apple trees. Young leaves turn yellow, sometimes even with a red tint, and growth slows down. In practice, it is often not just one element that is missing, but several at once. For example, if there is a lack of nitrogen and phosphorus, the leaves become stiff and grow at an acute angle to the shoot. With a simultaneous lack of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, plants almost stop growing and bear little fruit. These are my observations from years of practice. I hope they will help you not to lose the fruits of your labor and keep your plants healthy.